If you've spent any time online lately, you've probably heard a lot about artificial intelligence and how it's set to transform the way we work. And if you aren't already using AI-based tools at your job, there's a good chance you will soon. But as organizations start adopting AI, a lot of us still have some basic questions, like, what is AI exactly? What real-life problems can it solve? What are its strengths and limitations? And how can I use AI responsibly and effectively? In this video, we'll try to answer all those questions in a simple, straightforward way, so you can start using AI apps confidently. When people talk about artificial intelligence, they're usually referring to computer applications that can learn from data and perform new tasks they weren't specifically programmed to do. This includes computer vision apps that scan products in factories for defects or monitor security systems for threats. Predictive AI that identifies trends in data, whether it's for stock market analysis or weather forecasts. Recommendation systems that suggest products to shoppers or help doctors by highlighting patterns in X-rays. And finally, generative AI, which can analyze conversations, text, or images and generate something new based on what it learned from massive amounts of training data. While generative AI apps like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude are relatively recent, other types of AI have been around for years, and odds are you've already been using AI every day without realizing it. To appreciate the unique capabilities of AI, let's look at some simple examples of how people use it at work. These days, lots of people use generative AI to write emails. For instance, you might ask an AI app to compose an email asking your boss to approve a budget increase. The AI takes your request plus any extra context you provide, like, my company makes dog collars and we're experimenting with new materials, but the early tests revealed more challenges than expected. Then AI predicts what a well-written, polite business email should say, based on millions of examples in its training data. It's important to note that the AI predicts what a good email should look like. This is different from actually understanding the content. We'll discuss this distinction more in a moment. Other generative AI apps can do the same thing with images. For example, creating a professional-looking brochure by referencing patterns learned from thousands of other brochures. Meanwhile, predictive AI apps use similar methods to analyze a company's financial ledger, comparing entries to examples of correct records and flagging anything that seems unusual or potentially fraudulent. Now, the first time you use generative AI, it might seem magical. Just ask a question or make a request and presto, you get a convincing, human-like response. But it's important to understand generative AI's limitations. As we mentioned, AI doesn't actually read or understand anything the way humans do. For example, if you ask, what is 1 plus 1? The AI will probably answer 2, but not because it understands the math. Rather, it just knows that 2 is what usually comes after what is 1 plus 1 in all of the data sources it scanned during training. Similarly, if a doctor asks, my patient came in with a cough and pain in their right side, what is the most likely diagnosis? The AI might respond, pneumonia or pleurisy, because those are common answers in its training data. Not because it can assess the actual patient. The complex equations that power AI predictions sometimes lead it to guess wrong. This can result in what experts call AI hallucinations, when the AI model gives answers that sound plausible but are actually incorrect or attributed to the wrong source. And while there are things that AI application developers can do to mitigate these errors, it's impossible to eliminate them entirely. But does this make AI useless? Not at all. AI's ability to rapidly generate answers and spot patterns in massive data sets is still incredibly valuable. We just need to be thoughtful about how we use it and not rely on it blindly. To get the most from AI and avoid common pitfalls, keep these tips in mind. First, give context. If you ask an AI how much it costs to paint a house, mention the size of the house and what city it's in. Some apps will ask follow-up questions, but others might make common assumptions. Also, be aware that most AI models only know information up to a certain date, so if your question involves very recent events or new research, you may need to provide that data yourself. Second, treat AI as a brainstorming partner. Instead of asking for a definitive answer, try asking for a list of possibilities. For example, what are the top 5 reasons why an air conditioner might make a strange buzzing sound? That way you can check each one and might find a solution you wouldn't have thought of on your own. Third, always check sources. If an AI references a study or source, do a quick Google search to confirm the source exists. Remember, AI just identifies general patterns in its training data and doesn't actually read individual documents. If you ask it to cite sources, it might mix up multiple sources or invent one with a similar sounding title. This is especially critical when dealing with legal, regulatory, scientific, or medical topics. 4. Check the AI's work. If you use AI to find trends or errors in data, quickly review the results. AI models, like people, can miss things, especially in large data sets. Review it the same way you would review the work of a junior colleague to whom you delegated a task. Finally, ask the same question or run the same analysis more than once. Sometimes AI gives different answers on different attempts. This can offer new insights, just as you get from consulting multiple human colleagues. AI isn't magic, but if you understand how it works, you'll find it's an amazingly helpful, always available partner for getting things done.